Hi guys, this is Eric Cressey. We're at Cressey Sports Performance in Massachusetts, and I want to talk to you a little bit about rhythmic stabilizations today. This is something we actually had a question on this week, and it's something we use all the time with our throwing athletes, so I thought it'd be a good thing we should cover. The question was actually about where should I feel it. I don't feel like I'm feeling it in the right place or any place at all, and one of the reasons for this is we do this exercise to improve rotator cuff timing. So our rotator cuff's responsible for kind of just sucking that ball back into the socket and make sure we don't wind up with an unstable shoulder. So it fires very much reflexively. If you go to pick up a suitcase, sure enough your rotator cuff fires, and certainly in certain injury conditions, things like that, that firing may be delayed. It's one of the reasons why we train it proactively. With that said, the reason you feel certain exercises, whether it's a biceps curl or whether it's a deadlift or whatever it may be, is usually because you're getting to the end range of a particular muscle. So in the example of a biceps curl, you go through elbow flexion, you go through supination, and that muscle is taken to its fully shortened position, and that's where you kind of feel that contracted position. With the deadlift, maybe it's at the top when your glutes are tight and your hips are extended, that's where you start to notice it. The issue is that it's very, very hard to get to an end range of a rotator cuff muscle unless you're cranking all the way into external rotation or internal rotation. So in our rhythmic stabilization positions, in many cases, we'll test them out in a true like 90-90 position. We may have them out into a little bit more here or out into ball release. We're doing our rhythmic stabilizations to make him work to resist them, but very rarely are we actually doing it at a true end range of a muscle. So what I would tell you is there's no place that you should feel it, and in fact if you do feel it in one particular place, you're probably doing it incorrectly. Most commonly what we see with throwers is if they feel it in a particular spot with a faulty pattern, it's that biceps tendon. Your biceps tendon is an anterior and a superior stabilizer of your shoulder. So in many cases, people who have poor cuff function, poor scapular control, maybe the scapula is too low or the cuff isn't doing a good job of holding that ball in the socket, they'll use the biceps tendon as an extra stabilizer. Okay, so if you're starting to feel a lot of point tender stuff in the front of the shoulder, it means most likely people are pushing too hard, maybe they're working too far away from the joint, and you need to slow things down, be a little bit more methodical, a little closer to the joint to get comfortable with it, and then build it back up. One of the reasons we really like rhythmic stabilizations is when we do those perturbations, they're very, very unpredictable. It's a lot different than what you might get with a body blade or a shoulder tube or anything like that, because you don't really know what's coming, and that's why we prefer this. It's something we'll do with our loose jointed guys before they throw. We'll use it in other sessions with the rest of our throwers, even if they aren't very, very loose jointed. But the point is you should not feel it in one particular position, much like a lot of the great exercise that we do in the gym. It's about moving well and make sure that you're establishing solid movement quality.